There should be portals in the canyons. I thought we have to barter and beg our way past checkpoints like my father did the first time he came. But no one comes. At first, the stillness is unsettling. Then I begin to realize that the carving still teems with life. Black ravens wheel in the sky above the scent, sharp calls down the canyons. There's scat from the coyotes, jackrabbits and deer on the ground, and a teeny gray fox slips away from the stream when we come to drink. A small bird seeks shelter in the trees that has long dark wound down in the middle. It looks as though the tree was struck once by lightning, but then grew around the burn. But still nothing human. Has something happened to the anomalies? The stream goes longer and farther into the canyons we go. It keeps us walking on the rounded, smooth-out rock next to it. If we steep on them, we won't leave as many footprints. And for someone to find, in the summer I used a walking stick to go right in the river itself, my father told me. But the water's too cold to walk in it now. Streets of ice edge the banks. I look around and wonder what my father would have seen in the summertime. Shrubby small trees that are barren now would be full leveled, or as full leveled as anything gets in the desert. The sun would beat down hot and the cold water would feel good on his feet. Fish would swim away when they felt him coming. On the third morning we'd find ground covered in frost. I haven't seen any cheats to start a fire with. We'd have frozen without our coats. Eli speaks, echoing through my thoughts. At least the society would give us these, he said. I never thought the coat would work this well. Vic agrees. They're almost military grade, he says. I wonder why the society wasted them on us. Hearing them talk makes me realize what's been bothering me at the back of my mind. Something's wrong with this too. I pull my coat from my back and the wind makes me want to shudder. But I keep my hand steady and I pull out a sharp piece of agate. What are you doing, Vic says, cutting up my coat. And you're going to tell me why? I'll show you. I spread out the coat and the carcass of an animal and make my incisions. The society doesn't want us to waste things. I say, so there's a reason we have these. I peel the upper layer of the material. Waterproof wires, some blue, some red, wind like veins through the padding inside. Vic swears and moves and rips off his coat. I put my hands to stop him. Wait a minute, I don't know what they do yet. They're probably tracking us, Vic says. Society couldn't know where we are. That's true, but you might as well stay warm while I look. I pull the wires, remembering how my father used to do this. There's a warming mechanism inside the coat, I say. I recognize the wiring. That's why they work so well. And what else? Vic says. Why do they want us to keep warm? So we'll keep the coats on, I say. I look at the neat web of blue wiring and traces along the red wiring of the warming mechanism. The blue threads from the collar of the coat down the arms and the wrists. The web covers the back and front of my sides and underneath the arms, in a place near the heart of the teeny silver disc around the size of a microcard. What else? Eli says. I start to laugh. I reach inside and unhook a blue wire from the disc, carefully weaving them in and out of the red ones. I don't want to alter the warming mechanism. It works fine as is because, I tell Eli, they don't care about us. They love data. Once the silver disc is free, I hold it up. I bet this recording the things like our pulse rates, our hydrogen levels, our moment of death, and anything else they thought up when they want to know about us while we're in the village. They're not using these to track us constantly. They're gathering data after we die. Our coats don't always burn, Vic says. even if they do, the disc are fireproof, I say. And then I start again. We've been making it hard for them, I tell Vic. All those people we've buried. My grin fades and I think of the officers dragging the bodies back from the dirt just after stripped them of their coats. And the first boy in the water, Vic remembers. They made us take off his coat before we got rid of him. But if they don't care about us, why do they care about our data, Eli asks. Death, I say. That it's the one thing that they haven't fully conquered. They want to know more about it. We die, they learn how not to, Eli says. His voice sounds distant, as though he isn't only thinking of the coat, but of something else too. I wonder why they didn't stop us, Vic says. We've been burying for weeks. I don't know. I say maybe they wonder how long we could keep it up. None of us speak for a moment. The wind the blue wires and leave them society in trails under the rock. Do either of you want me to fix yours? I asked. It won't take long. Vic's hands is over. Now I know where the blue wires are, so I can be more careful with my incision. I make only a few small holes and pull the blue wires out. One of the holes is in the spot where his heart, so I can extract the disc. So, how are you going to get yours back together? Vic asked, shrugging into his coat. I have to wear it like this to find a way to fix it later, I say. One of the trees near us is a pin-pon pine. It weeps sap. I pull some off and cut the edge of my coat back together for a few places. The sap smells sharp and earthy, makes me think of the taller pines in the hill. I'll probably still be warm enough as long as I'm careful about the red wires. I reach for Eliza's coat, but he holds back. No, he says, it's all right. I don't mind. All right, I say, surprised. And I think I understand. The teeny disc is the closest any of us might come to immortality. It's not as good as it stores tissue samples, and the ideal citizen gets a chance at living again someday when the society has the technology. I don't think they'll ever figure out how to do it. Even the society can't bring people back. But it's true that in the society our data lives on forever, rolling over and over to become whatever number the society needs. It's like what the Rising has done to the legend of the pilot. I've known about the rebellion and its leader as long as I can remember, but I never told Cassia. The closest I came was the day on the hill I told the story of Cyprus. Not the Rising adaptation of it, but the version I liked the best. Cassia and I stood in the dark green forest. Both of our hands had red flags in our hands, and finished our story about to say more, and then she asked me the color of my eyes. In the moment I realized that loving each other felt more dangerous, more like a rebellion than anything else ever could. I heard parts of the Tyson poem all my life, but in Oria, after I saw Tyson's words in Cassia's lips, I realized that the poem didn't belong to the Rising. The poet didn't write it for them. He wrote it long before the society even existed. It was the same when the story of Cyprus existed long before the Rising of the society, and my father claimed that it was their own. When I spent my days in the burrow doing the same tasks over and over, I changed the story too. I decided it was the thoughts in my own mind that mattered more than anything else. So I never talked to her about it. I'd heard the other poem before, or about the rebellion, why we have the society trying to find its way into our relationship. We didn't need anyone else there too. The poems and stories shared with each other meant that we wanted them to mean. We could choose our own paths together. We finally see signs of the anomalies, a place where the used to climb the ground at the base of the cliff is spotted with blue fragments. I bend down and look more closely. For a moment they look like the broken crisping of some kind of beautiful insect. Blue and bruised people underneath, broken, mixed with red mud. Then I realize they're the juniper fruit from the tree growing near the wall. They've fallen to the ground and have been crushed by someone's boots. The rain had blurred the footprints so that the only vague indentations. I run my hand along the cuts in the rock and the metal boards when the anomalies ran the climbing gear through, the ropes are gone.